Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Luca and today I'm here with a brand new video, and today's not like the normal style of video, vlogging, powerlifting, training, just having a laugh. Today's none of that. Today I want to talk about something quite serious, mental health. Mental health is a very prevalent problem in today's society. It's an issue that I think there is a lot more awareness spread, but I also think cases of mental health are getting higher and higher. It is also the second most common reason for death in males under 45. Now this video isn't just for males, it is for females as well, but I am trying to raise awareness as a male who has suffered from it in the past. I am a huge advocate for it. If you follow my Instagram, I do post quite a lot of stuff about mental health. I don't talk about any personal experience, but now I've got the courage to do it. I used to think that maybe I shouldn't talk about it just because people might think I'm trying to gain attention. I'm not. This is literally, I want to spread awareness. If anyone's feeling this, I want to give them hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you don't need to have a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We don't need that. You don't need that. I promise you, you can get over it. I know it doesn't feel like that, but you can. But nonetheless, I'm going to get into my story because I know I'm just going to ramble on about other stuff. I am going to try and make this video short and sweet. If I do go on a tangent, I am very psychological when it comes to it, so just skip it. Skip a little bit forward. I'm sure I'll be done rambling, but yeah, nonetheless. So my story started probably was when I was a kid. I didn't have a very good childhood. I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think it would impact me that much, but it probably did, to be honest. But I was born 2003. I'm now 18. But yeah, no, I was born in 2003 and to pretty good parents. But after a year or two, my dad got depressed and he left me and my mum out the blue, and that caused my mum to get depressed. Now, she wasn't exactly the most stable beforehand from what I've been told, but it definitely got her spiraling down. I don't really blame my dad because when you're depressed you kind of withdraw socially. It is a common symptom, but could it have been handled better? Possibly. I don't know. I can't go back to the past. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't even remember it. So this is just stuff I've been told. So this caused a huge rift in, like, huge tension between my mum and my dad, and I don't remember my parents ever being in a stable relationship, ever telling each other I love you or like being happy with each other. All only memories I've had is just them being angry at each other, cold, not really wanting to talk to each other, and that probably ended up giving me attachment issues. I've obviously overcome them now, but yeah. So I don't, obviously, like I said, I don't remember any of this stuff. So the latest memory I really remember is probably me in Japan. So basically my dad moved to Japan out of the blue without telling my mum or me, and then like a year later, with his absence, he somehow contacted us, and we moved to Japan because that's what he wanted. For some reason he really liked Japan, so we went there and we lived there for a bit, and I went to my first school, a nursery in Japan. Now, I'm not fully Japanese. I'm half Italian, born in the UK. I did not have a very good time there. I was just bullied because I didn't look Japanese to them. I probably look quite Japanese to you lot because most of my audience are from the UK. So yeah, no, I definitely didn't have a very good time. I'd get teased. Back then, being a foreigner looking person or half wasn't seen that brightly, so to be by myself. I remember these three guys, there's three guys that I just tried to be friendly with. I just remember one time just like climbing onto like one of them like sliders or whatever you call them, and they just at the top, a guy just came up and pushed me, and I'm just like, I just felt really sad back then. Like, I just didn't have any friends. Teachers really didn't do anything to me, like help me. My parents didn't really know how bad it was, but it was not fun. I'd always get bullied there. Like, it was not nice. I would like to see their faces today and fucking punch them in the face. But you know what? I can't really do anything about that. And I'm sure they've matured anyway. So, moving on. So, that was my first encounter with racism. And then we moved to the UK when I was around 4. And I had to learn English. That's now my first language. So, right. I don't know if there was any sort of racial thing going on, but I did deep it quite a lot. But in primary school, my only mate was someone of the same ethnicity, Oriental, you know, that kind of sort of look. While we were quite unpopular, to say the least. We didn't really have any other friends till like later years, but that's how it was, pretty much. Like, quite. I'd like to think I was an outcast. Obviously, I might not have been, but that's how I felt. I wasn't necessarily bullied, but I definitely didn't really have any friends. Felt quite insecure, was quite quiet, didn't say much. Very different now, so yeah. And then, primary wasn't great. The house was not a great place to be in. Arguments every day. It was a bad environment for me to grow up in. Now I'm kind of aware of it, so I've kind of gotten used to it. But there'd be arguments, and it really just impacted me quite a lot. Crying quite a lot. But yeah, so then skip to year 5. Year 5 was a weird one. I did not like my mum at all back then. The amount of arguments, I always blamed her for it. And I started self-harming, and I pulled my hair out a lot, and I didn't even notice. It became sort of a habit, and I had a bald patch. And I didn't even notice. I wore a cap to school just because I thought it was cool, but it wasn't even for that. And some dickhead took it off my head, and my teacher noticed and asked me, "Luca, why do you have a bald patch?" And he referred me to a school counsellor in year 5. So this person comes back later in my life, which it was quite interesting for me. But this person, yeah. So I had this counsellor at the time. She was absolutely useless. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't really know, as a someone in year 5. I don't really think about communicating my problems. I don't really know about the deep-rooted issues. It doesn't really come to me in it. So it was a bit pointless. I felt a little bit weird, to be honest. I didn't really think I needed any help. I might have. But yeah, it was more like to go against my mum. It was more like to rebel. Probably because I just didn't really I just was upset about what kind of family I was growing up in. After seeing like all other parents seem lovey-dovey, you know. But and then you just kind of look at yours, and you're just like, if you have any parent, like my parents want a divorce, obviously, but we don't really have the finances to do so. So they've just kind of stayed together. The only thing they talk about is finances, really nothing else. They say they've stuck for me, but I also know that it's probably because they can't really leave, and I'd prefer if they split up ages ago, because seeing my parents in a happier relationship probably would have been more beneficial. But nevertheless, that's how they live their lives. That's how it is. Can't complain. So let's move on to secondary. So at this point, I've stopped pulling my hair out. It kind of went away after a while. But secondary was actually alright. I made new friends. I was actually feeling happier and happier. I still felt a little bit like an outcast, but I definitely gained a lot more friends, which I was quite happy about. But yeah, I was still quite insecure about my own ethnicity, because I felt like I just didn't fit in, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I just felt like being Asian makes you is something that people just kind of like ignore, sort of thing. Like, because I look like this, you are worthless, sort of thing. That's straight to where my mind went when someone did something that I didn't really like, which was probably not the case, but it was the case. That was how I thought. I don't think like that anymore. But people who have like just moved to like the UK after living in a different country may feel that like an outcast. It is quite hard to you know, change environments and fit in, especially when you are the minority. So yeah, so that's that, and I'm gonna skip to year 11 because this is when shit really hit the fan. This is where this is it. Like, I'm gonna put a timestamp for the more important sort of issues in my life. So I haven't, my self-esteem and all that was low. I didn't really have any serious issues. But yeah, year 11 started off great. Got a girlfriend, and it was great. Friends, great. And July 2019, something happened one day. Something triggered it. It really wasn't a big issue, but something just clicked and I just shut down. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. Possibly attachment issues or something like that. I don't really know. But if it is, I've sorted that now. But I just shut down after something happened, and I'm not going to mention people's names. I'm going to say who they were to me in relation, like friend, girlfriend, best friend, whatever, teacher. So yeah, so at the time I didn't really know what was going on. I just started crying. I just started crying quite a lot, and at the time my ex was very confused as well. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I honestly didn't know, but I just wasn't happy at all. And I tried to leave. I tried to take a break, but I didn't, because I thought staying in this would be better for the long run, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just leave, because I looked at my dad and I was like, I don't want to be like him. I don't want to just leave. I'm going to stick it out, and it's going to get better. This is just a phase. This was very early days, by the way, but I remember also my first relationship. I actually had this very, very minimal. I just kind of shut down, and I needed a break, and I actually took a break, and it actually felt right. This time I didn't, and honestly, I don't know if it was a bad decision, but I've learned so much from it. So yeah, that's all I can say really. But yeah, no. So this July, I just started crying constantly. In August, the whole of August I was crying. Just probably wasn't a single day I wasn't, to be honest. Like, I was so deep in my sadness, I guess. Like, I don't know what I was sad about, but every day I'd be crying. My ex at the time was very supportive, but we didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. I was just sad. All of a sudden, I was just sad. I was just like, this has never happened to me before. Like, what's going on? So, yeah. So, August went past. I was just low. I kind of just withdrew from friends at this point. I didn't really go out. I just kind of preferred to stay at home. And then September hit, and September kind of took a change for the worst. This is when I first started self-harming. Don't really like talking about it because it's quite hard to talk about. But I started very lightly. I didn't really do that much. But it was the first time I'd ever cut myself. And yeah, it felt at this time, like September is when I kind of stopped crying, and it kind of just turned to being empty, turned to being numb, and that lack of feeling. But it wasn't good. It was just, I want to feel something, I will do anything, sort of thing. And that's what I resorted to, self-harm. And it was, at the start, I didn't really do that much, and I went to, I had my Canada competition, Commonwealth Games, for bench press. That was not a good experience for me. I personally thought by going there, it would be a form of escapism. I could escape from reality or whatever's going on. I just needed a break from life. Nah, life didn't go away. Everything at home was still at home, and I was going to return there, and everything that's still at home could contact me. And like I said, when you are depressed, you just kind of need to be by yourself a lot of the times. However, you still crave that people want you. That's how I felt personally. I just felt like I wanted to be by myself, but I wanted to know that others were there. I know it sounds selfish, but that is how it is. Like, mental health sounds selfish, but it isn't. It is hard to control. It's manageable, but it isn't easy. And people who don't have these kind of issues, I hope you know that. As much as we might seem like dickheads, like depression can come out in aggression or sadness. So as much as we may seem like dickheads half the time, we don't mean it. We really don't. But yeah, no, kind of it wasn't great. When I won, I literally felt nothing. I remember standing on the podium and just feeling shit all. I was just a bit like, that's what I'm saying. Instagram, all that kind of stuff. It's not reality. Like, you see these pictures, yeah. It is not exactly a good representation of what they're currently feeling. So that's all I want to say about that. But yeah, I remember one thing though. It was the way back in the airport. My best mate, he actually sent me a message. He's like, this time my mates kind of started knowing, teachers knew a little bit, and he just sent me a message like, I don't really know how to help, but like, I'm here, blah blah blah. And that made me feel great. Like, honestly, like, to know that someone was there for me, like, it made me really feel really happy. If you are watching this, you know who you are. So that's that. So September, I get back to the UK. It's still going downhill, to be honest. Like, a lot worse. Cutting myself became an addiction. I have a lot of scars from that, but I kind of look at it now and I'm like, they're battle scars, to be honest. Battle scars with my mind. But yeah, like, I don't view it in a positive light, but I do view the scars in a positive light, just to show me that I got through it. I did it. I can manage anything if I can manage this. But yeah, it got quite bad, to be honest. Like, I remember going to school. I didn't really go. My attendance ended up being 45% that year. But I remember going into school, and whenever I couldn't take my blazer off because there'd just be blood on my shirt, and probably no one knew that, but that's that. But yeah, yeah, it hurt, but it felt good because of the sort of like things that sort of like neurotransmitters that get released when you do that. It's not. I don't promote it whatsoever, because it's not the right way to gain relief from your symptoms. I promise you that it's not good. But I'm just talking about my personal story, and that was that. In terms of cutting, and I literally, at this point, I felt like nothing. I just didn't know how to like socialise. I didn't really want to talk to people. I probably acted like I did just because that's just me. But it wasn't easy at all. But I've had some supportive friends. These guys have been there for me the whole time. You know what? I'm gonna say their names: Callum, Terry, Zavi. At the time, I had Tom Chenery and Elliot. But the first two I mentioned, they're always there for me, and Xavier always checked up on me a lot. So yeah, he'd always message me in the morning, you coming to school, you're right. Honestly, mate, I appreciate it so much. Like, I probably didn't really say much, but it was huge to know that someone's there, and yeah, I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, in terms of mental health at this point, it was still declining a lot. Yeah, so we're around October at this point, and I think, I can't remember, I don't know why, but yeah, at this point, my school tried to refer me to a CAMHS appointment, and that's what happened. But at this point, I was starting to purge. I wasn't necessarily insecure about my looks in terms of my body. I didn't eat much just because I just couldn't. I just felt like I'd throw up, but it wasn't to do with what I viewed myself. It wasn't anything like anorexia. It was just I was just too sad to eat, if that makes any sense. But my body weight went down about 6, 7, maybe 8 kilos in the space of like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks. My food intake just went to shit. Like it was poor. That's why I moved to the 66 kg class for a brief period, just because I just didn't know like what to do. Like I still like powerlifting was probably one of the only things I sort of continued. I was pretty on and off, but like it's something I enjoyed. It was like my only purpose at this point. I didn't really have much. Like I always had that dream as a child to be like really strong. And that's something that stuck with me and it still sticks with me today. And that's why my channel is called Luca Powerlifting. So yeah. So I'm probably not going to edit this video much because even if I keep saying but I just want it to be like real. I just want to be real with you in it. Like, but yeah, at this point I was purging food, but it wasn't necessarily to lose weight. It was more, again, to feel something, and it really got quite bad. Like I'd wake up in the morning and I'd pass myself out just because I just wanted a relief from whatever I was feeling, and it was, I don't know how to explain it, but anyone who's depressed doesn't know how to explain it. But it's a mix of just being sad, like really sad, and this like never-ending sort of like just low. Colours just seem very like low in saturation. Everything seems grey. You feel empty. You feel numb. You feel suicidal. At this point, I kind of wanted to die, but like it was more I just wanted these symptoms to go away, and that's the only way. I kind of started to think that's probably my only way now. This is not going away, and this never will. That was my mentality back then. But either way, I actually had a bench competition on the day of my first assessment. I say first because I had a second one, but my first assessment at a bench competition, I actually hit a PB there, so that was kind of calm. But anyway, I went to CAMHS, which is the Child Adolescent Mental Health Service. Now, I'm not going to lie, some of these people are shit, some of these people are really good. So please don't go there expecting you're definitely going to get help and you're definitely going to get better, because chances are you won't. Because if you are not serious enough, a serious case, whatever that definition is, they probably won't invite you in. And you will end up becoming a serious case, most likely. But yeah, I went into this assessment, I had to do a little like questionnaire, and then I was talking to this woman. Now this woman was very, asked me loads of questions, I'd answer them honestly, and there was one question: have you taken any drugs in the past? I said, yeah. She said, what have you taken? I said, cocaine. I took this quite a while before I actually had any issues, but she put a real emphasis on it that I did it, and I kind of noticed that she just ignored everything else I said, which was the stuff that was making me sad, and put a real emphasis on the drugs. And I knew that she already put her mind to it, and she wasn't letting that idea go. So I kind of left that thinking, yeah, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna get a therapist or help. So yeah, my ex-girlfriend at the time actually beefed her, which was actually kind of funny, but so yeah, but it didn't really go anywhere. So a week later I get a phone call saying, hi Luca, I think you should self-refer yourself to a drug rehabilitation place. And I hadn't done anything in so long at this point, and I'm just like, I don't need help with that at all. I'm drug free pretty much. Like, why are you telling me this? and I didn't really have the energy to convince her to do whatever. I just kind of just was like, cool, right, okay. And I think at this point it's like late October. It's just getting kind of worse, to be honest. Yeah, and this takes a turn to the scariest part of my life, trauma, whatever event this was. It was like my depression was getting so shit. Like I just wanted it out. I hated it. But yeah, one day I woke up and I had a really, really bad panic attack. And I was feeling so suicidal. And what's it? I don't know. I've never actually really told anyone this, but I started like, I didn't really hear proper voices, but it was like layered on like voices. I couldn't really make out what they were saying. It was like, but it was loud, it was intense, and I was just panicking. I was like, what's going on? I was just feeling dizzy. I was just like, I just couldn't stop crying. Both my parents weren't home at this point. It was in the morning, and I went to the medicine cabinet, and I was like, that's it, I'm done, I don't want this anymore, I want out. And I remember I just took all these pills out. I didn't take it though. Some in something I changed my mind. And yeah, it wasn't really necessarily a suicide attempt, but it definitely could have been. And I called Samaritans. I was like, I kind of just told myself, like, I'm about to do this now, but I feel like I haven't done everything yet that I could do. So I called Samaritans, and I just cried straight at them. I was like, well, I can't do it. I don't know what to do. And it was this old lady on the phone, and she was probably the best help I've ever got. She was so kind. I don't know her name, and I wish I did, because I'd say thank you so much, because I don't know if I would have been there, but if it wasn't for her. So yeah. If I could ever meet this lady again, I'd still talk to her. I'd just say thank you so much. You have saved someone's life, and I'm sure you've done this with other people. And so yeah, that was that. And I told my school, because my school counsellor, my secondary school counsellor, happened to be the same as my primary school counsellor as well, which was kind of mad. But yeah, so I told her. She told the head of pastoral, and she told me, we're going to take you to emergency. Like, this could, like, we're afraid, we're scared for you. And at the time, I didn't understand why people like gave a shit, because my self-worth was so low. I'm just like, just let me do me in it. Like, why do you care that much? But I still wanted them to care, if that makes sense. But I didn't understand why they were scared, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't really care that way they were scared. I didn't care, like, as selfish as it is, I just didn't. So yeah, but I look back now, and I've kind of realised, shit, that must have been scary for some of the people who were involved with me quite close at the time. Because I probably meant quite a bit to them, and I could have just disappeared. I could have just gone. So yeah, I went to emergency, I got another assessment, and I finally got therapy. This therapist was pretty good. I'd say she's good. And I got a psychiatrist, and I went on antidepressants. Antidepressants, I don't know, it depends. If you feel like you just nothing, like you've been pretty positive all your life and something's changed, I say antidepressants, take them. because you don't know if it's biological, whatever, environmental. If it is biological, it is going to help. If it's environmental, it probably won't, but you probably tell like it's not doing anything and you can go off it. There are a couple side effects. The first week is not very pleasant. I hated it. It was very up and down. At one point I just felt euphoric, and then one point I just felt it was even worse than I ever did. I was so just in my head. I remember like drinking once and I just wanted to end it again, but I didn't do that. I remember I took ecstasy and it really didn't mix very well. But yeah, it wasn't good for the first week. And my sex life went from like decent to 0 because your libido goes low, and like you do have to take the risks into account. But yeah, it can help. It definitely can help, and I do recommend you at least try it. I know antidepressants might seem scary to some of you because like, it's messing with your brain. It's not you anymore. It is you. It's bringing back the normal you, because something in your brain is not acting right, and we're bringing that down to the baseline, or bringing it up to the baseline. So it is you. So don't be scared of that shit. Try it. At least try it. So yeah, I was finally getting help. I wasn't really sure what to think about it, but this is like November. And I had another bench competition at this time. It was in the North Midlands, I can't remember. And I was weighing it at 62, 63, I think. I can't remember, 63. And this was the weakest I've ever been. But I was in a lower weight category. I didn't really train for it that hard. But I went into the weighing room and I just had a massive, not gash, but like a pretty big cut, which was just bleeding, quite a few. And I just noticed the guy just kind of looked, and he didn't say anything, but I knew he knew what I was going through, and I was just like, I'm never doing that again. That's it. I'm not cutting myself ever again. So yeah, that was that in terms of self-harm, and pretty much everything. I stopped purging, I stopped choking myself out, and from then on, like from December onwards, it was an uphill spiral. Like from July to end of November was probably the worst points of my life. It wasn't super long, but it was super intense. Like it might not seem like it, because most people know me not as that kind of guy. But December, it was okay. January was okay. February was okay. March was okay. Corona was probably the best thing that happened to me, because that meant everyone was in my situation, and I felt a little bit more at peace. Didn't think I was missing anything out. And from then on, I felt so much better. I've been off antidepressants for about 4 or 5 months. I finished therapy in December, so I went there for a year. And I honestly, like every session, like the first few sessions, I didn't really know what was happening. But by the end of it, I always talk, and I found the importance of communication and how important it is to talk. If you know who Sigmund Freud is, he said depression is aggression turned inwards. And I like to believe that. I'm sure there's a lot of anger that was built in me that I just didn't talk about. I kept quiet. And it kind of just turned inwards on me, and I just kind of just felt sad instead, you know. So I promise you, just speaking about it, releasing that sort of anger, whatever it is in you, in a way, like, it will make you feel better. And communication is one of them ways, talking about your problems. And I think a therapist really does help, or a shrink. And it's probably something I'm going to invest in the future. And I personally want to be one of those as well. I want to be a clinical therapist. I've been through it, and I want to help those who are suffering, because I know how bad it sucks, and I also love psychology. So yeah, that's something I want to do in the future. Psychology will be my degree in uni. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there's no really other key points, but I just want to let you know, guys. I just came to spread a little bit of awareness. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I hope you guys know that there's probably a lot of people that are depressed that you don't know that they're depressed. And I think it's quite important to just check up on them, check up on your mates. Like, doesn't have to be all the time, just like once in a while, hey, how have you been? You know, them kind of comments, if they don't receive it, it really like, you know, puts a light on their day. So I'd recommend it. I think do that. It really doesn't take any time out of your day. Because I know for me, when people talk to me, like, I felt happy, although at the same time I did want them away, but it made me feel a little bit better. So yeah, I just want to say, guys, I just want to say to anyone who was there during my time at my lowest and who were there for me, thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. You were extremely supportive. Yeah, I appreciate it so much. I really do. I can't really ask for anyone else better. I hope you guys learned something. I know I didn't really go into like how you help people. I might do future videos on mental health, just little smaller videos on like what to do, how to help, symptoms to look out for, them kind of stuff, because I do want to raise awareness. It is something important to me. It's close to heart. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much, guys. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any comments and if you are rude, and I know you are, we'll be confronting you. If you have any questions about anything, please put them in the comments section below. Other than that, if you are struggling, please reach out to my Instagram or something like that. My DMs are always open, and I'm here to hear your thoughts. I might not be the quickest responder, but I will be there, and I will help you. It might not be the best help, but I would like to think that I have some credibility in giving advice with this kind of stuff, because I've been through it myself, and I'm in a much better place than I have ever been. So yeah, so please do reach out. Please don't keep it to yourself. So yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. Peace out.